our analytics series of Hangouts. My name's Sinead, if you haven't tuned in before, and we have our analytics specialist Aislinn here today with us, who is going to be talking to us more about how to read reports, such as your social, in-page, and geographic reports and analytics, something I don't really know much about, but I'm excited to learn more, so if you could stay tuned for the whole time, I'm sure you'll learn something too. If you want to reach us or have any questions during the Hangout, you're more than welcome to post them underneath the video that you're watching it on, or you can reach out to us on Twitter also at AdWords or hashtag AskAdWords, and we have somebody standing by there to answer all your questions. Also, we will be posting this recording after the Hangout, so maybe tomorrow, just basically on the Google Plus page that you're watching it on. So if you haven't already, I'd advise you to expand your screen just so that you can see all the details a little bit more. But I'm sure you don't want to listen to me speaking about this all day, so I'll just pass you over to Aislinn now. So here you go, Ash.
Thanks very much, Sinead, for the introduction. Hi, everybody. My name is Aislinn. I've been in Google about 2 years. I'm on the UK and Ireland AdWords team, and I'm an analytics specialist. So today we're going to do a really quick Hangout on air, about 10 to 15 minutes, hopefully no longer, on 3 topics that Sinead has already mentioned to you. So those 3 topics are the Geographic Report, the Social Report, and the in-page analytics reports. And I'll also show you 1 or 2 other smaller reports along the way. And as Sinead said, all of the resources will be posted underneath the timestamp of the video. So there will be plenty of resources and plenty of opportunity for you to ask questions after the video is finished. Okay, so I'm going to head straight on in to the account now. All right, Sinead, so if you just want to take us into the account. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to look at, if you all want to sign into your accounts as well at the same time, that would be great. So once you're in your account and we're looking at the reporting section, okay, we're going to go straight into the audience overview report first, because this is where the geographic report sits. So this is the first stop on our list, okay? So we're going to look at the geographic report, which is here under audience overview and down into geo. All right, geo and then location. So the first reason that I'm showing you this is because it's really useful for your AdWords campaigns and your AdWords campaign strategy. So you can see on the map right there where your visitors are coming to your site from. This is really useful because you can determine then whether or not you already have AdWords campaigns targeting these countries, and if not, whether you should be targeting these countries. All right, so you'll see here this account, its biggest visitor population is from the US and then Germany. So this is quite interesting information. So not only can you get the country level information, but you can also get the city level information. So it goes right down to the city level. So that's pretty interesting. And that'll give you an idea of who you should be targeting. And you can even segment this further to see whether this traffic is paid or organic using the secondary dimension called source medium. So we'll just do source for the moment, and that'll tell you where that traffic comes from by city. So that's our first report. That's the geographic report. So just bear with me while this loads up. So it'll tell you there underneath where. Sometimes you might see a little bit of not set. Don't worry, that might be the user is signed in to search, and so we can't share all of the user information. Okay, so that's our geographic report. The next report we're going to look through is the new versus returning visitors report. So this is all under audience overview, and this is all part of our first section of reports. So the purpose of going into the behavior report, it's just underneath. The purpose of that behavior report is to tell us users' engagement with your website and whether they regularly engage with your website. So this is really important, a report for anyone who's really interested in brand loyalty and branding as a business objective. Okay, so we're going into new versus returning under behavior. So while this loads, you'll see then the percentage of new visitors, the percentage of returning visitors, and again, like we did previously, you can say secondary dimension, segment that, okay, by source or medium to see where those users are coming from that are new or returning visitors. So all quite useful information. All right, now we're going to move on to the third report in this section under the audience section called mobile, because mobile advertising is getting bigger and bigger these days, as we all know, with our lovely enhanced campaigns. So I'm going to take you into this mobile report so you can see, percentage-wise, how much of your traffic is coming from mobile devices, and indeed even which types of devices. Okay, might be interesting for anyone who's in the mobile app industry. Okay, so anyone who's targeting mobile users specifically. So this is underneath. This is under mobile, and then overview. So this whole introduction section here is just to get a feel for navigating this section of the account. Okay. So we have the graph there. We see how many are desktop users, how many are mobile, and how many are tablet. And then we can see the devices that people use as well. So we're doing all of this in our test account, okay? So you'll see one of the biggest ones is Apple iPad, interestingly enough. We've got the iPhone then, got Samsung Galaxy S3, so you're getting all the device names here, so it's particularly interesting for anyone who targets specific carriers or specific devices. And then finally, the last report in this section. Oh, sorry. Actually, just to mention on that mobile report, it's also interesting to note this, to see percentage-wise how many of your how many of your visitors are coming from mobile devices and whether they're converting. Okay, so if they're converting well at a lower CPC, because you can see you can actually add in campaign names into this report all through the secondary dimension section again. You can see which campaigns as well. This might actually encourage you to, if you think that mobile's not bringing you the return that you want, just by looking at the AdWords dimensions under secondary dimensions there. Okay, so we've got mobile, we've got devices. Next on our list is the visitors flow. So this is a generically useful report for pretty much anything if you want to understand how people go through your website. Okay, so this is the last report in the audience section. And we'll just wait while it loads. Sometimes it takes a while to load when we've got a large amount of data in our accounts and when sampling occurs. So just bear with me. Okay, so now we have the flow of visitors through our account done by country or territory. That's one dimension that you can segment it by. All right, you can also segment it by, the city that they come from, by traffic source, whatever you want. Okay, that's all under there. And this is the general flow of visitors through the whole site. So you'll see, okay, a lot of people come to the starting page, the / or otherwise known as the index page, index.html, that's your home page. Then you've got other people who come through YouTube, who come through the default page, the shop, the accessory page, so on and so forth. So this is all traffic sources. This isn't just organic or AdWords traffic, this is all traffic. But if you use that menu up there, the green one that the cursor is on, you'll see different traffic sources in their flow throughout the site. So then you'll see where users drop off, which is this red bit here, and where they go on to. And you can even see sometimes when they loop back, okay, you'll see little grey lines. And if you're seeing lots of loop backs as well, this might indicate to you, particularly if the user should be in a conversion process, going to buy something or going to complete a form, when they loop back, that there might be little flaws in the design of your website, okay, or in the design of your conversion process. And that would then indicate to you to show this to your web developer and make sure that it's not possible for people to loop back when they're supposed to be in a process, in a conversion process, okay? So that's really, really useful there. So now we're going to move on to the next section. So we're still in the account, and we're going to move on to basically the social reports, okay? So this is now under the heading traffic sources. So we're going to go down to traffic sources. And while we're in traffic sources, we're going to head down to the heading social. Okay, so let's just give this a moment to load. So we're in social, and then we're going to look at the overview report firstly. So the reason that we're going to focus for a few minutes on social today, and why it's the second topic in our Hangout, is that we can really see, a value in social as a traffic source these days. And particularly so if we've got goals or e-commerce tracking already set up. So a goal would have been gone through in one of the previous Hangouts on air, one of the previous videos that you could have tuned into. A goal is an action of value on your website, such as a purchase or a sign up. And when you've got these goals or e-commerce tracking to track transactions in place, you'll see that the social report is much more valuable, simply because you'll see, in comparison, you'll see how social performs for you in comparison to your other traffic sources in terms of getting users to convert, i.e. would they be more engaged? Do they usually buy the first time? So that would be a last interaction social conversion. So the last interaction means the last source that a user came through before they completed a goal or an e-commerce transaction on your website. So if you've got a lot of social last interaction conversions, that means social is a really strong method of getting users to convert for you. All right. If you've got a lot of assisted conversions from social, well, that also means conversion is definitely in the pipeline, helping you to get your users to convert. You might also see then the last interaction alongside that assisted conversion from organic, from your paid campaign, or from a referral. So interesting items to note in that overview report would be the amount of last interaction social conversions, or contributed social conversions, also known as assisted social conversions. Okay, so that's that first report in social. And you can see, the social networks there. So YouTube, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Blogger, and so on and so forth. So most of these will show, because they're referring sites to your website, okay? And in another section there that we're going to look at in social, it will show you in-depth detail about any social platforms or social networks that you might own, and that you have signed up to be part of the Social Data Hub, which is the next report we're looking at. So Data Hub activity is the next report that I'm going to show you here. It's just loading on the screen. All right, this one, okay, is for social networks or platforms that either you yourself as the owner of the platform have signed up to share this information with Google AdWords, okay, so Google AdWords, or other Google social platforms as well. So Google platforms, social network platforms will be visible in here, as well as any of your own ones that you've signed up to be part of this report. So you'll see kind of like things like Google Plus interactions, Reddit, and all the other ones are listed there. And then there's also a form on the Analytics Help Center on social, particularly on the Data Hub partners, that you can read more about this. And if you have a social network that you own the information for, and you've authorized access, or you've access to, or the ability to share this information with Google, then you can do so. And this is a really interesting report as well, because you can see live updates from your Google Plus feed and from the other social networks. So this is really interesting. So it's live updates, all right? So that's the Data Hub activities. It's giving you kind of a news feed of all of these social networks that you've shared or connected up with Google Analytics in your website. Okay, so that's that one. Then we have a few other really interesting sections here that I'm going to go through. So you got your landing pages. Landing pages are the pages that users come to, okay, from other sources. So come to you from your website, from social sources. So any other social sources. And you'll see it all visits, and you have it visits via social referral. So the graph is comparing all visits versus social visits there. And you can add in advanced segments to see conversions as well. So that's listed down there. The section Trackbacks gives you information on websites that link to your site. and whether they provide, you know, a valuable service to you in essence, because you'll see, you know, websites that are endorsing your site, okay, and information about them and how many visits from them. Okay, and then plugins. Plugins is quite interesting for anyone who has a lot of opportunity for users to engage with their website on landing pages, so such as a +1 button, or the ability to share something on the website, or the ability to comment. So this, well, this one has nothing in it at the moment, but I'm hoping yours would look a little bit fuller. Okay, and that's it then. Oh, well, I might mention the visitors flow. It's similar to the other visitors flow, but it shows you the social visitors flow. Okay, so again, just to reiterate, while social is really, really useful already, okay, you can make it more useful yourself by setting up goals or setting up e-commerce tracking, and particularly if you have the ownership of a social platform or social network that you can sign up to share it via the data hub, or share it with your analytics account via the data hub, shall I clarify. Okay, so that's that. And then, oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention there was with other social networking platforms that might come through as a referral. If you know that you're advertising on other social networking platforms and you're not seeing that information in that report, one suggestion might be to manually tag, so add tracking parameters into your ad URLs, the URLs that lead to your website page. And we'll put up a link under this video on manual tagging, okay, because that's a little bit too in-depth to go into in the short hangout. So then the final thing that we're going to go through, quite self-explanatory really, I'm sure some of you will have seen it and liked it, is the in-page analytics report. So it's down in the bottom of the conversion section. In-page analytics is where we go. It's just going to take a little while to load. Okay, while it loads, we'll see it there. So this is actually tracking the Google store. Okay, so this is our demo account for research purposes. So all the data in there mightn't actually be accurate. So this is just a demo account. So we have the number of page views there. Unique page views basically mean, you know, the number of visits during which that page was viewed at least once. Okay, time on page, bounce rate, has a pretty low bounce rate, which is really good, and so on and so forth. And the main purpose of this report is just to show you the different sections of your landing page and how much users interact with them. Okay, so the reason you're going to set this to your home page or to your main landing page that you direct traffic to is to determine whether whether users are engaging with your website, what parts of that page that they're engaging with, and you know, you can also segment it by different metrics as well. So you can look at, you know, transactions as a result of clicking on a certain part on the page, revenue, goal value, that kind of thing. All right. So it's just a way of exploring the design of that page. To get this to work, you need to have your profile settings set up correctly. So I'm going to show you how to make sure that the profile settings are set up correctly. So we're going to go to Admin. I'm going to pick on we're going to pick the profile. We're going to choose Profile Settings, and we need to ensure that the website URL and the default page are the page that we want to show in in-page analytics. So this would be our homepage. We use this for our homepage. So the website URL and the default page need to match for in-page analytics. Okay, and they should be your homepage ideally, if that's the main page that you're directing your users to when they come to your site. And then you simply add that in and hit save. All right. So that's in-page analytics, quite briefly. There's a lot more that you can do with it, but it's all quite self-explanatory. You can play around with it. The tabs are there. You can show bubbles. You can show in color. And you can show like different browser sizes, so what users see if they were using different browser sizes. It's all quite useful, really. So color is just showing you the main areas that they interact with. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys have a look at that yourselves. Just to recap what we covered the Geographic Report, we covered social reports, and we covered in-page analytics. All of the resources that you might need will be posted as a link under this video. And all of it is also in our Analytics Help Center. So if you type into Google Analytics Help Center, and in there any of the topics we discussed, you'll get loads more detailed info. I am going to hand you back to Sinead and thank you for your attention. Hopefully you found this useful, and I'm sure I will be seeing you again when you tune in for another Hangout. Thank you.
Thanks a mil, Aislinn. I really learned an awful lot. I really did. I learned so much about. I didn't know we could actually segment by colour in in-page analytics, which I'm hoping will come in useful someday. But as I said before, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to post them under the video or to reach out to us on Twitter at AdWords or hashtag #AskAdWords, and we will get back to you straight away. You can also reach us on you will also be able to watch this video again on our Google Plus page. It will be posted as a recording, and as Ash said, throughout it, we will have a timestamp, so if you want to skip over anything that you already know, you can do that. That will be posted early tomorrow morning. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Really enjoyed it. Hope to see you next time. We will be posting all of our information on our next Hangout on our Google Plus page, so stay tuned.